Have you ever had a week that was going to be so jam-packed, you just didn't know how you're going to get it all done? I know we have. We're going to give you some tips on how to best plan your week. This video is sponsored by HelloFresh, one of our favorite time savers. Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Tasha with One Big Happy Life, and we make videos about how to find balance, build wealth, and live happy. So if you are all about creating a life that you love on your own terms, then we make videos just for you. So be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing.
If you're new to the channel, we work full-time jobs in addition to running our business on the side, and so we are pretty jam-packed.
And we have 2 kids. Remember those beings that we have to keep alive?
Those are the people that are in the house. No.
And a dog. We also have a dog. So we know a thing or two about fitting all of the things into a jam-packed week.
And we also know that many of you have the exact same difficulties with fitting it all in. So we've got some tips that hopefully will really help you out.
Number 1, set a day and time to plan your week in advance. There's nothing worse than starting your week and having no idea what you should be doing next. So when you pick a time, usually we like Sunday evenings, where we kind of sit down and go over everything that we have coming up over the next week to make sure that we're prepared to catch everything. And that includes things both in our personal lives and for our business, because we often have a lot of deadlines that we need to meet for our brand partners and, with my coaching group and with our YouTube students. So to make sure that we're staying on top of everything, we have a specific time where we sit down and kind of chat about what is coming up over the next week.
Now, the earlier that you can plan your future weeks, the better. Like if it's a big thing, you can obviously plan way in advance, but try to get to where you're planning next week a week ahead, so that if anything comes up, you have time to make adjustments before you're in the thick of it. Number 2, figure out what is going to work best for you to plan your week. That might be a bullet journal or a paper planner or a big calendar on the wall or something like an app or an email system that has tasks. I know we personally do it completely different ways, so I really like having things in one spot as much as possible. So the one caveat to that is I use Wunderlist for like our personal to-do lists, and that's how I keep track of things there. But when it comes to the business, we use Asana and I keep those 2 things separate, but I always know where to go to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing.
Now, for me personally, I have tried to go 100% digital, and I've also tried to go 100% paper, and neither one of those have really worked for me. What I like is actually a combination of the 2, and I can't say that I have definitely found the system that I'm 100% happy with, but right now I do a combination of Google Calendar and then also having a written to-do list. So that's what I'm doing right now, but I'm tweaking it. But you guys know, if you've been following us for a while, that I did bullet journaling for a while, and that was really fun and good, but just way too time consuming. So it's all about making sure that you figure out what works best for you. And like Joseph says, even though he likes to do everything in one spot, we actually do, even him, do put things in different spots depending on the context. So he may do, like he likes to use Google Calendar and stuff too, but for our business, we do our planning in Asana. And then for weeks when we're going on vacation, like this week right now, when you're watching this video, we actually plan our week in a Trello board when we're on vacation.
Yeah, because it has pictures, so that's fun. Number 3, identify your top 3 goals for the week. It's important to prioritize and not get overzealous with how many things that you want to accomplish, because then it's going to be extra hectic and you're likely to have to push things off anyway. So just take those top 3, the really important things, and put those on first.
Now, some of those top 3, not all of them, really should be related to your big goals, like the overarching goals that you have set for your year or your 6 months or your quarter, things that you want to accomplish, like whether it's to exercise more or to drink more water, like those important personal goals I would say at least 2 out of 3 should be those until you feel confident enough in those goals that you don't have to prioritize them. The other ones can be things related to just accomplishing things in your business or your life or with your family. But we really do say to try to stick to 3, because when you start adding in those bigger things, because again, these should be things that are actually challenging to accomplish, not something like, email back X person. It should be, finish this project, kind of these bigger things. And if you go from over 3, then you may not get those done. And then that may discourage you and may make you less likely to plan out your week and subsequent weeks. So make sure that they're attainable and so you can go all in on them. And if you do happen to get them done early, you can always add more before your week's over. I mean, if you're just productive like that.
Yeah, feel free to add in more. One more thing to check off. Number 4 is to list any items that absolutely must be done that week. This is obviously really important. Anything that has a deadline, taking your kids someplace that they have appointments, your doctor's appointments, things like that, definitely put those on the calendar because you do not want to forget those.
So in addition to things like appointments, you're gonna wanna block out, like if you work like we do, we block out our work schedules. Now, our work schedules are fixed when it comes to our day jobs. And so those are always like recurring appointments. So they automatically populate in our digital calendars. That's the plus side of using a digital calendar. But if you use a paper calendar, then you're gonna have to plug those in manually every single week, which is part of the reason why I don't like a paper calendar for our main weekly planning, because there are just so many recurring things that I just hate wasting time every week doing the same things over and over and over again in our calendar. So you definitely need to block that out and make sure that there aren't any conflicts. And if there are, then you know in advance and you can kind of tackle those things Monday morning first thing if you need to reschedule an appointment or ask for time off at work so that you can accommodate those things.
Number 5 is to identify any time savers. Now, as you're planning your week and you notice it's starting to get pretty darn packed, look for ways to save yourself some time, perhaps delegating something to somebody else in the family or looking to hire somebody. Now, one of our favorite things to do when we know that we're going to have a busy week is to delegate food shopping. The way that we do that is by ordering HelloFresh. So we knew that we were going to have a really busy week leading up to some travel, and we ordered HelloFresh because that takes so much less time. It is quick and easy to cook something when all the ingredients are right there, prepackaged for you.
Yeah, if you don't know what HelloFresh is, it is an online meal delivery service where you select your meals and the number of servings, and they ship you everything you need to make delicious, home-cooked, healthy meals for your family or just yourself, if you're a family of 2, at home without having to worry about grocery shopping or having to do any search for new recipes. They do all the work for you.
We get excited every time we get HelloFresh for 2 reasons. One, because it takes something off our plates, or really put something on our plates. But also, it's something new and different that we might not have thought about by ourselves. Like just last night, we cooked the Tuscan sausage and pepper spaghetti, and it was delicious.
And here's the thing. It's you wouldn't think that sausage and spaghetti would taste any different from the way it does when you cook it at home. I have to admit, I am always skeptical when I see these things. I'm like, this is just going to taste, but it always tastes so different. It's really shocking to me every time how different it is.
And Reeves, this is the shocking part. Reeves hates pasta with sauce on it until last night. And HelloFresh won him over.
It's like when you go over to someone else's house and your kid eats the thing that you cook it, they refuse, but HelloFresh comes over and they're like, well, of course I'll eat it if you say I should eat it, HelloFresh. So anyway, we love HelloFresh. We think you guys should check it out if you're busy working parents like us and need to get away from fast food and all of that stuff on the weekdays. It's a perfect solution. So you can head on over to HelloFresh.com and use our code OBH80 to get 6 free meals from HelloFresh.
Number 6, always include some personal time to nurture yourself and your relationships. As you're planning out that big, busy week, you have to do this. No one can work nonstop forever.
Yeah, and especially, self-care. If you don't practice self-care, I know people are like, oh, that's this woo-woo buzzword. But if you aren't taking care of yourself, making sure that you're drinking water, making sure that you're getting enough sleep, making sure that you're doing things that you really enjoy, where you're nurturing your passion. And I know because I've fallen prey to giving in to the busyness where every part of my day I was either working at work, working on the business, or working around the house, and I wasn't doing things like really just sitting down and just relaxing with the family. And it really affected us all negatively. And so it's something that I am working on, making sure that I'm creating more space for the things that truly matter, which is my family and my health, as I'm planning my ideal week.
Yeah, so the way that you do this isn't just leaving some space open, but be intentional about it. Plan a date night, a game night, family outing to this place, or if you need just some personal time by yourself, block it. Personal time by yourself.
And it has meant, like Joseph mentioned, date night. So we have been making more of an effort to take advantage of when Alexis is like, guys, get out the house, and to actually leave the house and to go do something. So we just went to the movies the other day. What did we watch? Oh my gosh, Captain Marvel. Yeah. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And it was really nice, really taking the time away, stepping away from everything and spending some quality time together. And that same weekend, Alexis and I actually went to Sephora and we got to do, some girly makeup stuff. And that was a lot of fun to spend time together doing that.
Number 7, at the end of your week, take a look and review how you did. And take a look at next week to move things forward and kind of recap what worked and what didn't work. Because as you're doing it, you're going to find out the things that you really liked and the things that you didn't like about however you planned it.
Yeah, just keep in mind that it's all about building habits that work for you and your family to help you create the life that you want. And if you're intentional about what you're doing, which means, like Joseph said, reviewing your previous week, seeing how that went, and then using that as feedback to plan your next week, then your weeks will start to look over time more and more like what you want your weeks to look like. And it'll start being easier to identify which things you want to start doing less of in your life and make it easier to see where you need to pivot so that your week really can look the way that you want it to.
All right, well, we hope you take a look at these tips, and I hope they really help you as you're planning your week. And don't forget to check out HelloFresh at HelloFresh.com and get your 6 free meals by using the code OBH80.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye.